Hello, my loves. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday weekend. And today it's time to start our planning party. This is my favorite time of the year. I love making plans. You know this already. My be all end all favorite thing to do is to help other women identify and reach their goals. It's what I love. It like gets me out of bed in the morning. But today we are going to start with reflect and release. So if you're new to this process, this is a 5-day event. You can either binge watch them and make sure to pause in between or do 5 days over the next couple days. I'm going to be posting one a day, but if you aren't here for the live event, you can binge watch them and just make sure to pause in between. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Cassie Hensel. I run the Vibrant Life Society. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram and now on YouTube. So I'm very excited to do this process with you. This is one of my favorite events that I do every year. I'm going to be sharing my personal planning process with you. So let's jump right in. If you haven't yet, you can download the workbook. I'll put it in the notes, the video notes, in the links, so you can find it and follow along. For those of you who don't know me, let me introduce myself. I'm Cassie. I love putting busy moms back in the driver's seat of their lives. My mission is to help you break free from overwhelm, confidently walk your motherhood journey, and empower you with the tools to help you live your life to the fullest, whatever that means for you. I'm not here to tell you exactly how to fit this mold. We don't have a mold. Motherhood comes in all different shapes and sizes, and so I want to help you find the right path for you. So I am also a project manager, hence the goals. I love projects. I love goals. I love planning. I love figuring out how to get from point A to point B and then encouraging people along the way. I do this in my full-time job. I do this here. I do this coaching people. So it's my all-time favorite thing. I also love interior design. I'm constantly redesigning my home. I love to read. I am a Swiftie. That girl writes the soundtrack of my life. I'm an overuser of gifts, and I absolutely love using finding that perfect gift for people. That is one of my favorite things to do. So Christmas is also one of my favorite holidays. And then it leads into my other favorite event, which is this one. Okay, so over the next couple days, during the planning party, we're going to use the 4S method. So this is my method to create your action plans. So we're actually going to create your Q1 action plan over this couple days. This is the same method I teach in the Vibrant Life Society. It's designed to help you take massive action on your goals without overwhelm. So using this method, we can ensure that you are focusing on the right goals at the right time, that you are in alignment with your priorities, and that you will have consistent momentum. This is where a lot of people get it wrong. They set all the goals, especially during New Year's time, we're like, we need to do everything. I need to rechange my life. That might not be the right goal for where you are right now. So we're going to use the 4 S's, and then I'll introduce you to my seasons method as well. So the 4 S's are, set a healthy mindset, select the right goals for the right season you're in, strategize your plan for success, scrutinize your results and make adjustments, and then set a healthy mindset. And this goes in, it's a circle here. So they all feed into each other, and you need all 4 to be working concurrently to really see the success that you're wanting to see. So since we are going to close out the year, we're going to actually do an expanded version of this reflection phase, which is what we're doing today. This is going to be your longest day with the most homework, but it's so, so important. So please don't skip it. So why are we starting here? When we reflect, whether done through writing, meditation, or a conversation with a coach or a friend, our values and purpose become more clear, and we set goals that are in alignment with who we are and who we want to become. Self-reflection also allows us to celebrate our successes. Far too many people don't celebrate their success before moving into what they want to change, their next goal or their next set of goals. I know I've done that. You've probably done that too. Celebrating success is not just about taking out time to enjoy yourself, although that is important, and you should do that. It's an essential step to acknowledging these successes. As the saying goes, success begets success. So it's so important to do this step, to celebrate you, to understand what was working, where you won this year before we move into where we want to go. A lot of us tend to focus on the negative scenarios, the what ifs, the judgment, and the minor setbacks, instead of looking at the larger picture scenario. Don't focus on the negatives. Instead, put your attention towards the progress and small digestible milestones you've hit. You may not have made it 100% to the goal, but accomplishing 65% is still effort that will lead you to the end goal, and that shouldn't go unnoticed. We still need to celebrate that. It maybe didn't go exactly as you planned, but you still had some wins. We do this all the time in project management. We use retros, which are meetings basically just to stop and reflect and say, this is what went right. This is what we got done. It maybe wasn't a perfect project, but we still had some wins, and that's so important to acknowledge. The questions in your workbook are going to guide you through doing this part of the process. So looking at what you did to get to the 65% and what kept you from that last 35%. Understanding this process is the foundation of how to set achievable goals. I don't know about you, but I often set goals that are way, way too big, or they're way too small. I have a friend that I co-work with often, and when we set goals, when we started doing it together, she would set these goals, and she's like, "I thought it was big enough, but I got it done in a month." So this process is going to help you identify how much you can get done, and how big of a goal you should set. Setting those lofty goals, what to achieve 1 year from now, is often overwhelming and hard to visualize and organize. Breaking down into smaller action steps that are achieved on a monthly or quarterly basis are more likely to yield success, which means you are more likely to move into the next step rather than forgo pursuing the goal entirely. So self-reflection clarifies what brings us joy and fulfillment. This goes back into the idea that setting arbitrary goals is ineffective. Setting goals that someone else told you to strive for is a surefire path to not achieving any goals at all. And reflecting on what makes you you, what do you want out of this life, and ditching the should goals along with the proven process helps you create the life that you actually want, not the life you feel like you should have or that someone else is telling you should have. So if I know I can relate to this one, drop me a comment if you also relate to it, but we feel like we don't do everything perfectly. It's not good enough. When we skip the step, we can get stuck in an all or nothing mindset. That's why reflecting is so important. And we get stuck in this crushing mind loop or thought loop that just obliterates our confidence and it hinders our process. It doesn't have to be perfect to move forward. We just have to keep moving. Okay, so how it works. So reflection can be done in a lot of different ways, but at its core, it's really just asking yourself questions and objectively analyzing your results so far. So in this case, since we're doing the annual planning party, it's what did you achieve over the year? What happened over the year? So there's a couple different ways that you can do this. Asking, what's really important to me? What do I want my life to look like? What are my wins? What are my struggles? Why isn't this working? I think this is the part that often gets uncomfortable for people, and often gets skipped. So why isn't this working? Did I break it? Did I not break it down enough? Did I choose the wrong time of the day to pursue it? There are really easy fixes once we identify a problem. And sometimes just a small tweak can make a huge difference. So you can do this either in a journal, you can meditate, you could do a guided practice, you could write a letter to your future self, which is something that I just recently started doing a couple of years ago, and it's been really helpful. I don't know about you, but so much can change. I know my life feels like it's moving incredibly fast these last 5 years since becoming a mom. I remember when my daughter was first born, I would be like, I'm going to remember this. I don't know at all. So writing this letter to my future me helps me know, what I was hoping for at this time last year. It's a snapshot of where I was mentally, emotionally, spiritually at this point in time. So I really like this. So if you are going to do it, you can write a letter to your future self. You can do just a reality check, some self-reflection. It's like a little time machine. It's fun to go back. And honestly, you'll get a kick out of it. So here are some questions that you can answer if you need some inspiration. What lessons have I learned up until this point? What goals have I achieved and who helped me? Am I happy? I think too often we don't actually ask ourselves this. We are so busy in the day to day, especially as busy working moms. We have so much on our plate that we don't stop and look at that bigger picture and say, am I actually happy? What's important to me? Am I living this life true to myself, or am I living by someone else's goals? Am I spending enough time on the things that matter? Again, we can get so caught up in the day to day that we sometimes lose track of the things that are most important to us. And do I take enough care of my health and myself? So those are just a few things that I've included in my own letters. You can also include principles and beliefs, family, friends, relationships, career, spirituality, finance and money, your hopes, your dreams, your feelings about these different areas of life, and then your dreams and your visions. So what should I remember in the future? What habits do I want to start? This can start as a brainstorm, and to create your goals. And this is honestly the most important part of the letter, which will help you process your life experience and become a better version of yourself. So this is where we start dreaming up those dreams and those goals that we're going to dig into more throughout the rest of this series. If you want to do this online, you can go to futureme.org and you can create a free version of this. I don't think they make you pay. So next steps. Use the reflection questions and write your letter to yourself. Take a picture and post it in the group, or send it to me if you're part of our email group for your entry into the grand prize drawing. So that is all I have today. Again, this was the biggest day, and take some time, either pause the videos before you go to the next one, or do it tonight if you're doing this live with us, and write your letter to yourself, do the reflection section within your workbook, and come ready to go tomorrow. And tomorrow we are focusing on the present and the future. So this is when we get dreaming and it gets really fun. So if you'd like to share, I always love to get emails from you guys. So send me an email of one big aha you had, or something that you tried. Maybe if you've never written a letter to yourself, send me how it went. I would love to hear it. Also, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.